Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, I have just done the first run through 9.3, and this video effectively is going to be my initial thoughts and opinions about the piece of content, kind of experience, a bit of a review. This is not meant to be as a completion guide, because that is going to be the point number one that I'm going to discuss. And there is no way to sugarcoat it. In every single one of the quests, I did not try to find the easier path at all. I was not focused on it. I was focused on finding the path that had the least complicated nodes, the least amount of reading, because I just didn't want to spend, additional 40 minutes going through, specific these nodes. They're just long, and then you need to figure out how these work, because these are like fairly new mechanics. Even though I did play them in beta, that was a while ago, I kind of remember that it's all about having the relics and stuff. But for most part, here I just picked whichever path didn't have some sort of crazy stupid long nodes. So here it was personal space, placebo, buffet overtime, unblockable specials, basically, and can't reverse the healing. So this was fairly straightforward. It's like get a heal block, or mitigate healing. Done. Yeah, and regardless whether that was fastest or the easiest path, which I now know was not necessarily the case, because now I know, for instance, the leader or Count Nefaria absolutely cheeses these fights, and I do seem to recall that from the beta as well. But genuinely, for a piece of content, I just didn't want to spend 10 minutes at the beginning of every quest trying to figure out exactly what those nodes do. So again, what I did is I entered any given quest and I just picked a lane that didn't require me, learning a new language or reading a Bible. Like, again, here, these spiritual scales and all that stuff. It's like, nope, I am just gonna go do the lane. Like, here's hubris. So basically, it's a power thing now. That's all I read here. Tearing monkey, that's fine. Middle ground. From this node, I answered, I do not want to corner the opponent. And from hubris, I knew I need power things or like lots of dots or something like that. And done. It's like, I'm good, I'm chill. And that is the first point here. It is sad that this has been like the same point of criticism to Kabam, especially when it comes to the story content, for like 3 years now, at least, if not more. Make them more simple. I'm not even talking about in terms of fights having to be simple or easy. I'm talking about whenever new content comes out, don't make me spend more time reading and figuring out the nodes and how they interact than I would spend playing. So that is my first piece of feedback. So I do know that there are some easier cheese paths that I could have taken, but for the most part, the second point here is, and this is the big one, I don't get it. As in, like, I don't understand Kabam at all whatsoever. So I'm going to go in 9.3 here. And so I'm going to go on preview here. And I'm going to preview, I don't know, that rogue. Defender. Attack is 13k. Health is 800k. Alright? That is 13k and 800k. And that is the biggest, the grand story content they have been offering. And then, is this the new Elder's difficulty? Yeah. I'm gonna go to like Elder difficulty quest. And I'm gonna take a Jack-o'-lantern. 26k. Over 1 million. Call me crazy. I don't get, like, okay, this is a bit of a distraction because we're involving the Elder difficulty, and this is a bit of a rant about Elder. I cannot fathom how a monthly event quest that's fairly typically not impressive ordeal has twice the attack values and less health to these fights. I genuinely don't get it, how that could have happened with the Elder difficulty. So returning to this, it felt kind of sluggish, like, you know, because the fights are fairly long, and if you do need, like, again, specific champions in order to deal with these nodes, some of the fights were fairly long, and it did feel lengthy. But it at the same time was and felt miles and miles easier than the Elder difficulty that we just played through. And it's because it is. Because, you know, in a handful of fights, I ate a combo, and I survived. And even if I lost some health, I could pick a different champion and carry on. And that is genuinely the feedback here. Is like 9.3 is absolutely significantly easier somehow than Elder difficulty. Even though 9.3, which rewards I still think are underwhelming, has like 4 tier 7 basics, and the Elder difficulty has like half. So let's say 8 times better rewards, or at least like 5 times better rewards overall in story content, and it's easier piece of content than Elder difficulty. That just kind of yet again highlights how shit was Elder difficulty. And that's kind of the second piece of feedback. After having recently played Elder difficulty, it genuinely felt kind of easy. I did not use a single item outside of energy refills for like completion run up until the boss fight. And, you know, it's fairly straightforward, easy content. And then the final thing that I did want to discuss is the boss. And you know what? The boss is fine. It's a long fight. There are like few things to learn, obviously, but for the most part, I think it's fine. It's a lengthy fight. That's like the biggest thing. Also, a lot of people asking who are the best options. Quite literally, any champions that do double medium on their first medium work great, work the best. So like, man, Lady Deathstrike was great for me. Domino, Black Cat, Werewolf, those are like the main champions they used basically. And yeah, they work really well. There's not much else to say. There are, again, things to kind of note, but again, the base principle is just you need to hit Doom during his specials in order to remove his charges. Knocking him down with the special attack removes some more charges, and that is kind of the essence of the fight. And then progressively, obviously, the fight goes harder. You remove all his charges once, then there are a few more finicky mechanics where you need to start, you know, knocking him down and baiting out level 2s, and so on and so forth. If I can, I will try to make a video, even though, again, it does take quite a while to get to the Doom boss fight, but I think I can stick together kind of like a simplified explanation guide for you guys as well. But the key aspect is just about any champion can be used in this fight, and champions with double mediums do work the best. That's about it. Yeah, so as far as the boss is concerned, because I did hear some people say that this is like the hardest endgame boss that we have had, or like harder than initial champion fight, stuff like that. Absolutely not. Really is not. Like champion initially was much harder, so was like the first collector, so was the Grandmaster, and Ares initially seemed at crap ton of harder. Like my only like issues, and like for most part when I did end up getting clipped or caught first couple of times, was obviously learning the fight, and then later on, because it still did make my phone lag at times, and the AI was, you know, being finicky. But aside from that, I think I used 1 or 2 team revives. I think it was 2 team revives on the boss fight, and you know, and once you kind of get a hold of it, again, it's just the AI, or in my case, lag caught me off a few times as well, but it's not that bad, really. And if you die again, you know, much of your progression kind of gets saved up, and you can just carry on, so that's fine. So that is 9.3. For most part, again, I think 9.3 is just kind of another example of story content shifting roles. Story content has gotten drastically easier comparative to other content than it used to be, which is not necessarily, again, bad thing in the grand scheme of things, it genuinely has changed, you know, the way I look and approach story content. Like back when 6.2 was released and 6.1 and 5.4 and stuff like that, you know, first question was like, how many units did you use, or like how many Odins did you buy, or stuff like that. And that long since is not the question. Story content's been made, unfortunately, in my opinion, something a lot more kind of tedious, where these nodes are just, you know, extremely lengthy. They have kept stacking up nodes on top of nodes on top of nodes on top of nodes. I'm not a fan of. But at the same time, they kind of make it more controlled experience, where it's not really a super high skill ask as much as it typically is a bit of a roster ask for clearing it. So, all things considered, I think it's fine. I still think the rewards are somewhat underwhelming, especially compared to 9.2. And when it comes to the completion offer, it's the Chase Prestige. In my opinion, it really does not offer great value for 15,000 units. Like a rank 4, no Sig Stones, 1 Titan Nexus, and then 7-star Relics, StatCast, and 7-star rank up Gem 1 to 2. And I think Kabam's again missing the mark with the player base with this StatCast. StatCast is, I highly doubt that StatCasts is or are something that many people are eager or willing to spend money and or units for. And here's also like a great example of why. Because I'm thinking that, you know, we change these requirements for prestige and everything else, top 30 will kind of incentivize us to spend for prestige, but reality is relic prestige is about 1.5k. Let's say if you're like big in relics, like 1.8k, you can get like extra, I don't know, 200 relic prestige. Champion prestige is like 30k. You could have had it up to 35k. So without exaggeration, it's like champions are like 20 times more important, even to your prestige, than the relics are. And obviously champions are something that we're naturally more interested in. So I don't think Kabam kind of gets how little or how few people want to be spending for relic-based rewards. And I don't think that's going to change much. But I might be wrong, who knows. That said, let me know what you guys think. Overall, I think it's fine. I think the boss fight's good. I like that. So, again, don't say that they always complain. I think the boss fight's good. I think the rest of the piece of content is kind of forgettable, if I have to leave a word. But I like the boss fight. So, let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, we have more information about the next